So this is kind of twofold, so it's one is the system, but also, we talked to John last week about parking, so use Coop Park, for example, that we could either have kiosk-type parking solutions like you do, you see them in Ithaca, Cornell has them, or, John, what was the other thing you called it, the park that were the...
The text-to-pay system.
Text-to-pay, that was
We
it.
call it, our system is called T2 Mobile Pay, and that's where the town would put up signage around town. You would basically break your town down into zones. You would put signage up in each zone telling people how to pay for parking within that zone. And typically, what it amounts to is texting a number to another number. As soon as you do that, they get a return link that they click on, and it will tell them how much parking costs in that particular zone. They'll ask them how many hours they want to purchase, and then they put their credit card number in, and that information was then sent to our system, which goes to our handheld devices to tell your enforcement officers who has paid for parking and who has not, so they can go where the violations are and address the violations.
Which saves time.
Yeah, it's a different world today. You know, when I was a young police officer, we hand wrote all of our tickets. Highly inefficient program. I mean, when you think about what you're doing, you know, you're handwriting a parking ticket, you're handing it to someone who's then going to take that very same information, put it into a computer database, keep track of them. How do you keep track of them? You know, when you write all these tickets. With electronic ticketing, the minute you print the ticket out of this machine, which looks kind of like this, I provided these to some of your trustees. As soon as this ticket gets printed, the data is all the way out in the internet, lands in our back office software, and is immediately available for the violators to pay if they choose to do that or protest or whatever they want to do. Very efficient. It really eliminates the redundant data entry that you're doing right now. You know, you're doing twice the work, which is eliminated.
A lot of beach communities have that. Like I know when I was down with Hobeth, it was definitely like that. And stuff. It's really efficient. What?
Everywhere you go.
But yeah.
I mean, everywhere.
Yeah, there's an incredible amount of revenue to gain.
And time saved.
Yeah.
I tell the story all the time about Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. You know, they're a similar town in the sense that they have a lot of tourism. And talking to the finance officer there after they began using our system, I was told that revenue from parking enforcement is the #2 source of revenue for that community, second only to property taxes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, you know, and it's a tourist-driven operation, and we would be rather similar to that, I think. So, a lot of potential.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I want to be conscious of as we move forward is that our residents receive free parking in our parks. So we had talked about, you know, how do we accomplish that? Do they get a sticker or?
It's all in the system.
Oh, you have to, what, enter their?
Yeah, so one of the things you can do, something that's really becoming a thing in the parking enforcement world are permits. And I did demonstrate that earlier for the group that was here. You can create resident parking permits that would exempt them from any parking restrictions if you choose to do that. You can either charge for that or not. It's entirely up to you. Some of our customers make them free for their residents. Sometimes they charge for it. But, you know, as soon as you approve a permit for somebody, that information is immediately available here. If somebody scans their license plate with this, if there's a permit associated with that car, pops right up and says, hey, you know, just so you know, this person has a Watkins Glen resident parking permit, which would exempt them from whatever, you know, parking restrictions you may want to exempt them from.
I mean, I'm not saying that we would ever want to do this, but let's just say we had a super heavy weekend or whatever where we might not want it to be free. I don't know if that ever comes up. Are there like dates that you can put in there where it's like, okay, the free parking wouldn't be available for this particular event or week?
Sure, you know,
Yeah.
the ability to create permits is entirely in your hands. As I
So you
demonstrated
can
earlier,
set times
you can make any
and-
type of permit that you want. You know, you can make it for a day, a week, a month.
I'm not saying we would do that. I'm just
Right,
saying that.
yeah, yeah. So, I mean, it's entirely your choice. We give you the tools, you decide how to use them.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
so if you want to make a permit that, you know, is good for a certain period of time, like an event, if you have an event in town and you know, you do want to charge for parking for that event, you know, you can create a specific permit for that, you know, with a beginning and an end date for it.
Nice.
You would be taught how to do all those things.
Yeah.
Peter, did you have a question? I thought I saw you raise your hand.
Well, what he's talking about sort of relates to the issue I brought up when I was here last, which was at the end of August, and that is speed control. Does he have a system where, you know,
so when we get to public be heard, then you can talk about that, because this is totally different. Okay, I thought you had a question for John. Okay, and then, John, did you give our team some of the pricing so I can get that?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
In fact, I put a full contract together so that you'd be able to look through it
Okay.
and, decide, what direction you want to go in with it.
right. Yeah, and I think, Margaret, what your question was, and now that I think about it a little bit more, it's not necessarily that we would give permits for, say, for Grand Prix weekend, when we have thousands of people here, and the sign's already up that says, text to park or whatever it says. How do we not have people have to do
Right,
that
yeah.
versus, because we're not gonna give out 5,000 permits, because we're not even gonna know who's gonna come here. So is there a way to shut the system down so that we don't have people?
Or
so say-
set parameters. I don't know how you would do that, yeah.
Yeah, I don't-
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that, and many of the towns we work with now, they're providing paid parking through a couple of different means. One is the multi-space kiosk that we've all come to know over time, where you go up and you put your license plate number in, and pay for parking with a credit card that way. The other way is the text-to-pay systems or the mobile pay systems. They can be programmed, to exempt certain periods of time, and I think that's what your question
Yeah.
is. So if you want to disable, paid parking for a period of time, that's something that you can program into the device for you. And you would all be, taught how to do that in-house. You wouldn't need us to do that.
So you come out and train us on how to,
Well, the training for the parking enforcement portion is all virtual. We used to do on-site before COVID, and that changed everything. So what we do now is we do it all through Zoom meetings. You get 8 hours worth of training on the parking enforcement. There's different segments to the training. The people who will be in the field using this, they get a couple hours, to learn how to use this. Back office administrators, they get so much time, to learn how to administer the back office. We record that, or you can record that, so if you have new hires that you bring in,
Yep.
they would be able to access that same training.
Okay.
When everything else fails, we have a support department that's based in the United States that you can call anytime you have any difficulty, and they're very, very good at what they do, and they're very helpful.
So who was the person that you said would be specifically assigned?
For the kiosks and the Jody Backus, and I'll have Jody reach out to you, Fred, and you can pass her information around, and, if you want to set up a meeting with her to go into more in-depth. I don't do kiosks personally, I do enforcement, but one of my colleagues, Jody Backus, she's expert at this, she's done it for 19 years, I think, and she knows all the ins and outs of how to administer the kiosks and the mobile pay system.
Okay.
I'll put her in direct touch with you.
great.
Thank you.
All right, John, really appreciate your time.
Mark, if you have any questions, feel free to
Thanks,
call.
John.
All right.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome, everybody.
You're not driving home tonight, I hope.
I'm not going home tonight.
Okay,
No, I'm
good.
not.
Well, be safe
I
tomorrow.
went to Geneva this morning, that was enough exposure to your snow-covered roads.
I heard.
That was white knuckle stuff,
Okay, appreciate your time.
sure.
All right, so now we'll move to public be heard. Mr. Wadinsky.
Okay. Last time I was here, I said I had multiple issues,
Mhm.
and one of them, my number one concern, was the speed limit on County Road 28. And I asked that we have some sort of monitoring, something done to slow the people down, going up the hill and coming down the hill. And we talked about, the trailer-mounted speed
Yep.
signs. I guess why I'm here today is because nothing has happened since the last time, and that was at the end of August. So we got September, October, November, December,
Mhm.
they were in January, and I haven't heard one thing from anyone. So,
Ethan, we typically have borrowed that machine from the, is it county or state? The thing that flashes the,
One of the school school zone is, I believe, is village owned. The one up on North Madison comes into the village, I don't know who owns that. I do know that some agencies will move them around town.
Yeah, there was a,
Move them around town locations, which would be considered possibly a temporary fix is all for the month or two they might be there, or weeks they might be there. That's the first I've heard. You live up, just going out of town on the left-hand side, correct?
Yes.
Okay. That's kind of the first, there's always been, they get out a little bit there and stuff, but that's the first that's been brought to my attention that there's kind of a major issue, if you will, through there.
Well, I mentioned something a while ago.
It's been,
First, on Ben though, or?
It's our son,
Yeah.
Vegas.
and we're talking about broader issues here, because in my secondary concern was who's supposed to maintain that section of highway. And it all came about when the county chose to redo County Road 28.
right,
And they chose that County Road 28 according to their highway department claims that County Road 28 begins at the end of the village line,
mhm,
when it actually begins at the 409 curvature that goes up to the north end of the Glen, north entrance of the Glen. Because the road used to go over the bridge, way back when. I'm talking 1975. The portion of road that runs from 409 to the village limits on County Road 28, right up by Harold Chafee's
yeah,
place, that's where the village line ends today. And it's always been in limbo, who has the responsibility for that section of highway. I talked to Terry about the maintenance on that road. He said, we don't have anything to do with it, you gotta go to the county.
right.
Go to the county says, well, that's in the village, we don't do anything in the village, go to the village. So, there's always the
Yeah.
finger pointing as to who owns the responsibility.
Well, it should be, I just was reading it, I'll have to pull it back
The
up.
county plows
The
it.
county owns the property
Then they should be responsible. shouldn't
from the 409 all the way through whatever, 14 feet. They own the property and the right of way. So I believe the county is responsible.
Well, I did follow up on that part and talk to,
Chris,
yeah, how'd you know that? Yeah,
I spoke to him too.
Yeah.
He has, again, he hasn't gotten back to me yet, so the next stop is,
okay, so he told me he was gonna talk to you about that situation, so you haven't heard anything? Okay, I can follow up with him as well. But back to the speeding part, even in the past, we borrowed it was on wheels, it wasn't one of those on the pole.
it was on trail now.
Yeah, I think,
Tow behinds, and you can move around town and stuff. A lot of municipalities have those.
we borrowed it, I think, though, you might wanna ask Judge Decker,
The ones
because I know we had it up there before.
The ones that are down, like at the school.
Yeah, those are ours.
Up here on
Mhm.
14 is,
Yeah,
they can't be that expensive.
yeah, I don't know how expensive that
Those
is.
little ones, to my knowledge, are still around $7,000. And I believe the ones on wheels are upwards of $30,000.
Yeah, I think we borrowed one.
I could be off a little bit with those numbers, but I believe those are the numbers I've seen when I get the ads that come across my desk, is that those little ones are still, or maybe there's deals for $49.99. And then I think the big ones on wheels are all $20,000+.
Oh, yeah.
Was it possible to borrow one from a place that's?
Well,
had
that's what
it for a while,
I'm
or
pretty
maybe-
sure, but you might want to ask Judge Decker, I'm pretty sure we borrowed, I thought it was the counties, but, I mean, this is, we're going back a ways, but we could just follow up on it. The other thing is, increased patrols, but we can't be there every day. I mean, that's the problem. I mean, we have one officer on, but,
Go to the county and tell them that we have an excess surplus budget, and they can pay for one going up the hill and one coming down. Seriously, I mean, you're the bill, you're
I will certainly talk to the,
you represent the village and say, hey, whoever the administrator is now, say,
Sean.
this is what we expect of the county.
I will certainly talk to the county.
Sounds like a great idea.
Sounds easy.
I mean, the county.
Yeah, I'm happy to follow up with Chris, because I did talk to him about it, but I haven't talked to him lately. It was probably November.
And I know it's, I don't want to take any more of your time, it's not, but I just came here to remind the board that I have a whole list of issues that I want to direct.
No, it's good you came here.
No, we'd love to have you come.
Yeah,
I actually did go up there when you
it's
was,
good as on task.
the last time you were here, and I checked whether you said they weed whacked and cut some
Right.
flowers down or something, and so I
See,
did,
I was the one that maintained all that,
right.
and then when the village came through, and they just indiscriminately took away my trumpet vine and my peony bushes, and just weed whacked them.
Yeah, I saw all that.
Peonies take a long time to
That
establish
mountain
too.
is coming down.
Yeah. Peonies take a long time to establish.
Yeah.
It's not something that
What
pops up
we
every
need
year.
to do is find out who's responsible for what, and go for
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
because we're still
I
in.
agree.
Yep.
And
Okay.
I was hoping that Chris would take the initiative, because he did assure me I'll get right on it.
Who's
And that's
Chris?
2 months ago.
This is the assistant administrator for the county.
Okay.
I'll definitely follow up with him. Yeah, but I did talk to him.
All right.
But in the meantime, I'll look to our officers to patrol when they can, because we have some other areas in the
Yeah, I'll
village.
put out another memo.
I did come in.
What's his last name?
I'll put out another memo. We wrote 700 tickets last year, so it's not like
I'll
we
look it
got
up. That's
tickets.
okay.
But anytime whether it gets skipped, or you haven't seen anybody up there in a while, just don't hesitate to reach out to me via email, phone, or stop in. Every time, like, I know there were some complaints down in class, just last week or so, for record, we've written, 6 or 8 tickets and issued a whole bunch of warnings in that location. Just come in, speak to us, call us, and we can, I'll put the memo back up, officers get back up there, and enforce what we can call it a hotspot.
Hey, I got stopped on that hill. This was years ago. Because you know what people do, it's just what I did. You're starting to pull out of the village limits and you punch it and,
Punch it.
yep. I got pulled over.
Well, isn't there a question about the speed limit sign, and then where it says the village starts at the village of Watkins Glen or something, and then there's another, or it's 30 miles and start of the village of Watkins, and then down the road is another sign that says 30 miles an hour or something, because I know there was something about the town of Reading. The judge asked me to look into it because there was a discrepancy in the,
Yeah, I don't know a lot about that. I do know that we have or at least our jurisdiction, we have a buffer zone, so we actually can like issue within a couple hundred feet of the actual
Right.
line. So it's not like it's we can't cross
I'm
there
pretty sure
for
they both say 30.
enforcement. but-
To the county highway department's credit, they did put 30-mile-an-hour speed limit signs up further outside of the village limits. Plus, they did say entering.
Oh, that's what it is.
They did all that stuff.
village speed limit 30 miles an hour, and then the sign for the village is down the road.
Right.
The sign for the village is at the base of my driveway, even though it's further up, 400 or 500 feet up. It actually at Love Shaker's house.
Yes, because people were getting tickets apparently, and they were going to the judge and saying, well, it says village speed limit 30 miles. I remember I brought this up at a meeting once
But it's
before.
outside of the.
But the village sign is not until further down the road. So they're saying they don't have to go 30 miles an hour until they get to the village limits. That's their excuse.
Cutting the sign down.
Because I asked about that, because the judge actually asked about that.
I've taken enough of your time.
Always good to see you, Peter.
Thank you.
Thanks, Peter.
All right, onward to the minutes of December 17th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of, December 17th, 2024.
Second.
Further discussion? Good job, Fred. All in
Attaboy,
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. No opposed, that's carried. All right. No parks tonight. Stacy's daughter's birthday. No streets. No roads, although he was downstairs.
They missed the memo.
What?
Does he know what he's supposed to do?
Yeah.
He does.
That's the deal.
Megan's talking. Nice report, Ethan, thank you and all your team. You want to add anything?
I don't think so.
Okay. Did we get that other car back?
We did. Yeah, yep.
All set?
Was it down outside of town there?
We had one at Smalley's the other day, we had one at the other side of town that
Yeah.
hose scratched the bed last Friday, that's already fixed and back.
Was it the tie rod on that?
Yes.
It looked it. I saw it. All right.
Hey, I just got a question. As far as,
Who are you asking?
Ethan, as far as, a crossing guard, do they have to have some kind of special training?
I don't think so.
I don't think so,
They definitely have to have a background check.
but, yeah, right, but, you know, we get actual training in the police academy for directing traffic. And I don't know about you guys, if you've ever actually directed traffic on a public highway or roadway. There's a lot to it, and it's not easy all the time. Now, Decatur's a slower pace, but I say that lightly because there's children and four-way stops. So,
It's dangerous.
Well, it's a busy time because school's getting out, so, you know, that's busy. But I was just wondering, because I've had a couple complaints that there weren't one, and then I asked some people that might be interested, they just need to know whether it's,
I don't think there's any full requirements for training on crossing guards. I know just Trumanburg specifically, they've got kind of just random civilians that do it as well for like a part-time thing too. I don't believe our last crossing guard had any specific training as well.
Yeah, the civil
No,
service requirement is high school.
Do they have to go through the
That's it.
fingerprinting process because they'd be working for the school? Is that?
Well, they don't work for the school.
They work for us.
Oh, they work for, oh, okay.
If they-
So that Wallenbeck guy, like, he worked for the village when he did that?
Do they what?
So the Wallenbeck man, he worked for the village?
And
when he
it's
did
always been paid through the village, yeah.
Yeah, James was the last one, he was in there for,
oh, so we don't get reimbursed from the school for that?
No,
no.
no. Yeah, it's a real safety issue, especially down there on 12th, no, 14th,
that? 15th?
15th.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know you talked to one person, I don't,
At a funeral,
yeah.
complaining.
Yeah, it's kind of it's a tough one because you've got 45 minutes in the morning and 45 minutes in the afternoon.
At like $14 an hour.
Yeah, and you need,
Does anybody want to spend those times of the day in the elements for $18, $20 a day?
yeah,
I think it's tough.
yeah.
I mean, it worked great when Jim Amy was there, it worked nice, because he was at the school.
Yeah, Jim, that was the
So he just showed
guy.
up to school earlier.
Not Wallenbeck, it was Jim.
For his day there, get paid for the 40 minutes, do his daytime at school, and then in the afternoons, stay another 45 minutes, so it was all one day for him.
Right.
So that worked well, and when they put it out to the school district for to the whole staff, to see if anybody was interested in
Nobody
doing that as
was.
part of their day, they didn't get one response.
Yeah, I wonder if we should try it again. Hey, Meg and Peter, I love that you guys are chatting, but it's hard for us to hear up here.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
$50 fine, Pete.
I'll go sit in. Thank you.
No, we're all open.
All right, stay warm. Yeah, I mean, it's really, it's a concern because it's dangerous.
Well, yeah, if there's kids crossing, I mean, what are you gonna do? Because some people aren't gonna,
And I know we
they don't care.
And I know we talked about, our school resource officers, however, that's a fine line because the school district pays for them, therefore they put them where they want
was
There-
one of my
you know, But I
suggestions.
do have to say, there is great reasons for having them in those loops. I totally agree with that. You see me down there on
Yep.
Fridays picking up my grandkids.
Yep.
But they've also got administrators out there too. I mean, so maybe, I don't know, maybe if the administrators could deal with the loops, then maybe the SRO could
That
be.
is way above my pay grade.
Mine too.
That whole conversation is way above my pay grade.
I mean, I think we can talk to, I'm happy to talk to Kai, because it's just extremely important.
We've spoke to them.
Yeah, we
I
did.
spoke to them briefly, and it's kind of like, they don't have the staff to do it, we don't have people signed up. You know, our officers, at least they want, in those loops, that's what they're paying them to be there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too bad.
Cause I can see where it could get a little crazy in those loops if there wasn't some kind of presence there.
Yeah,
But, you know, I don't know, it just seems unfortunate that we just can't find someone.
Well, even a custodian, that's what we try to do, because they're already there early, you know, that works at the
What
school.
about somebody doing community service or something?
Or what about if
Well,
they, what
yeah.
if, what if this,
Have a criminal doing it, that's a good idea.
They can't do that anymore?
I don't know,
Oh.
nobody, I don't know.
Yeah,
Ethan, when you were saying that it was put out to staff in the school district, was that a stipend position, or was that?
It was roughly a year or so ago, and would have been similar to Jim Amy that did it down there. Where
Right, but he was doing it probably as part of his job, was it, did he get additional monies for it?
Jim got paid by
from us. Because
From,
we pay that position.
okay,
right.
So the school district put out to all faculty and staff that said, there's this opportunity to make, a couple extra bucks. If you get here at 7, do this to 7:45, then come in and start your normal day at school, and nobody responded.
wow.
yeah. Because that would be the ideal part, right there, is if you've got somebody who's coming in anyways.
Anyway,
They come in a little early, and then at the end of the day, they do the same thing.
Right. But there was zero interest.
Lynchman.
So you might have to up the.
I can tell you the parking lot's
I
pretty.
know our
well
budget's
maintained.
pretty, it's like
I know, it's-
2,500, I
it's
think.
horrible to.
Well, we
McDonald's
gotta-
is $16.
I know, we gotta keep discussions going.
And I don't know, as far as, I don't want to take a bit more time on this, but, the other problem is, we've got the line for it, and are we supposed to have somebody there? All of a sudden, somebody gets hit? Are we gonna be all liable, the village, or a giant lawsuit, a kid gets sued?
Well, there are some people that are upset about it, that there's not somebody there.
I understand, and those are, unfortunately, everybody that's upset is also not signing up to help with crossing.
Yeah.
Doing it.
And that's what I told the person complaining. So you wanna do it?
Right.
Really?
Yeah,
I
I
agree,
mean,
there should be somebody there. I can't, like, the PD guys can't commit to it because we just can't commit to being there.
Right.
We could be there sometimes, but if you're not gonna,
well, technically, we really need one on 12th, too. I mean, it's not just
I
15.
agree with 12 just as much.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you're gonna cross one and end up at the other. So, all right, well, we'll keep,
Plugging away on it.
Yeah.
I even talked to the Skylish Monk Park about
Right.
hiring
Everybody's saying something.
2 individuals from there, but, it's a risk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard.
The last thing I'll talk to our school very briefly maybe, because it's, again, that's a little contract, but maybe they can start the day through the PD from 7:15 to 7:45 and be out there, and then kind of go into the school thing. That's a possibility. I don't think they would go for it, but that's something.
What time do they start there now, Ethan?
At 7:15, they're on campus, reporting to.
Right, but the buses, all the buses are looping in by the field house. And so they're not, I never see anybody out there.
They're not necessarily out in their positions at 7:50, I think it starts like 7:25 or 7:30 to drop off, but they are paid from the school to be on campus at 7:15 to 2:45.
Or so they couldn't be out on that, they couldn't be out at those intersections then?
And the school agreed to that through the.
Well, I wonder where they're at, because they're not, I never see them in the bus loop, but I'm down there a
They're not
lot.
at the bus loop, they're in the personal drop-off routes,
Right.
where there's people from the outside coming on.
Oh, okay, got it.
Because the bus
okay.
loop's pretty confined with the
Right,
bus driver kids.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay, got it, yeah.
Yep. Anyway.
All right, thanks, Ethan. Mag, did you have anything to add?
make a motion to accept all
Department.
department reports.
You're okay.
A second.
All right, further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
No opposed, it's carried. First voting item is McCrossen's payment number 20.
I'll make a motion to approve McCrossen's payment, application number 20 in the amount of $323,966.75 for the work performed on phase 1 of the water system improvement project.
Second.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Did you say aye?
Aye.
Okay.
Sorry,
No
I was
opposed,
looking for
carried.
it.
Thank you. And then next is McCrossen's change order number 12.
I'll make a motion to approve McCrossen's change order number 12 that reduces the contract by moving the security allowance of $75,000 from phase 1 to phase 2.
I'll second.
All right, so what does that mean?
So,
It was not very well planned, it came over budget,
yeah, so
quite a bit.
the security system, they put it out to bid.
Right.
It was crazy.
They
I,
thought it like $70,000 or something for this, and it ended up coming to $100-something thousand, and so we're pretty much just got the fence at this point.
yeah, so,
Pretty poor design too.
Yes, I second.
yeah, so we talked it through a bit. So the fence is there, there's a keypad, it's working, right?
Only the keypad, I mean, we don't get badges or nothing.
Right. So,
And the fence opens automatically.
Once you get that keypad, but right now, you gotta constantly check that passcode in that keypad.
yeah, so the idea was because we weren't getting any, the one bid was so ridiculous, and then the other was tied to the same system as the wastewater treatment plant, which we told Larson that's not a requirement.
Right.
And
I
so
remember that.
the decision was to move this money to the next phase and do it right, because we're just getting no responses on the bids. And the one bid was so ridiculous that,
Even this one, the fence they put up, I mean, we have to finagle some of this fence just to make it so we can lock some of these handles. Some of them are just not designed right.
you guys probably,
Yeah.
should convene meetings again.
Yeah, we I started to get the ball rolling, and then I just I got sick, and I'll pick that back up for
Are they still doing any kind of meetings
the two of
at
us.
all?
I mean,
I haven't seen anyone leave.
Is there even any, oh, there's not even anybody around.
There's a Megan
We got
signed
the
up,
electrician there right now.
when is phase 2 supposed to start?
it's gonna be a ways out.
That's a ways out. Okay, so I'll
They're
follow.
Finished at 90, basically.
Yeah,
Okay.
we've got to secure money, number one, but it'll be, we're working on some of the paperwork side of it right now, but it'll be quiet for quite a long time.
So what
Okay.
about the,
So do we need to meet or
the,
what?
um, concerns that the guy had that was doing the tank with, they need to grade around the base of the tank so that the,
Yeah, I mean, it's minimal stuff, it's, Larson wanted to put a whole new tank in, that was their fear, and then he did the inspection to see if it was even necessary, and it's not.
No.
So they just need to grade around the outside of that tank for that height requirement, and then you need to do some seal around the bottom, and clean out the inside.
so is that
Yeah.
something that's already gonna be included in what should have been done? Or is that
That's
something that's,
phase 2, I think, isn't it?
oh, that's
Yeah.
gonna be phase
It's not
2?
included in this, let's not lose sight of where we are at here in this motion.
Well, yeah,
I mean, you
but
can
I
ask-
thought that was phase 1,
No,
cause it didn't get completed right.
no, it's phase
No,
2.
the other tank is done too, no.
We're talking about the old tank, so we just had that inspected and.
Correct.
it came-
That's one with all the pictures,
Yeah.
and that's part of phase 2.
Right.
Okay, got it.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No opposed, carried, thank you. All right, next is approval for the Evergreen payment, this is for the ADA playground.
I make a motion to approve Evergreen's excavations payment application number 2 in the amount of $113,209.75 for work performed at the Kloop Park redevelopment phase 3 assessment playground.
I'll second it.
I think you have to table it.
Yep, I'm
You
just
have to
gonna, I was, while you were reading it, I was just thinking, because, there's been a revision just today.
Well, Megan and, Elias were just going back at the last minute.
Yeah.
So it's probably better to just put it on hold until.
Yeah, so there was 2 changes in there, so let's table this.
Yeah.
When's that supposed to be done?
Well, they wanted to do it, like, and keep going, like it would be ready through the winter, and so we held them off a bit because we were worried. I mean, you go down there, even like today, that wind whipping off the lake.
I can't imagine.
It'll be done by April. But, I mean, they're pouring cement, the whole pad, the pads are ready.
The playground was gonna install by the end of this month.
We're like,
It was just kinda like, hey, let's hold off. and-
Huh,
let
they're
them
down there-
finish
they
that
were
work
there
at the
today.
time.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, it is cold. Every time I have to meet down there, it is freezing. All right, so we're gonna hold on that to the,
Something got cut off.
all right, now we got the recycling services bid.
I'll make a motion to accept the bid of $4,750 per month by Cardinal Disposal for Village Recycling Services.
I'll second it.
Discussion. When does this become
So,
Back.
so we're actually over the current contract.
right?
So the way that it was set was that this would be for February 1, and
Okay,
it would actually go through until the end of May of 2026. So it'd actually go a year and the 2
Oh.
months, that way we get back on track with our fiscal
Okay.
year.
so that's good,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and we're saving some money.
Saving some money.
Yeah, Cardinal actually dropped their rate and Greenleaf came in where we're at now. So Cardinal being the one that's been doing it for 2 years now and that price is lower.
Good,
It's-
When does that
makes
ever
more
happen?
sense.
I know. Write it down.
Something to go down.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No opposed, that's carried. Next is our municipal cooperative agreement for municipal solutions. Wow. Oh, I'm sorry. For the consortium,
Yeah, this is-
municipal health insurance.
I make a motion to approve the 2025 amendment to the municipal cooperative agreement for the Greater Tompkins County Municipal Health Insurance Consortium.
Who wants to second that? Oh, Bob did, okay. All right, discussion. This is our health insurance consortium.
It's literally just that every single year, they initially started 2 years ago, they tried to do a resolution that would put it out
Yeah,
continuously. The consortium just needs to revise that agreements they have every single year now. So all participants have to do this every single year. So we're just-
yeah, that was fun reading.
Jeez, it's hard to read, I don't,
It is,
you get lost,
yeah.
I can't.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
No opposed, carried, thank you.
There was a lot of
All right, the next is a resolution, first of a few coming for, structure with the code enforcement
Oh,
officer.
yeah.
I'll make a motion for the approval of the resolution in support of the findings of the code enforcement officer that a building or structure has been deemed dangerous or unsafe.
I will second it.
Okay, discussion. If you read the
About time.
resolution, so we're working through some of these buildings that have been left vacant. If you recall, we updated the vacant or abandoned house law a few years back, so Dennis has been, beginning to go through that list. So the first of which will be the old, everyone knows it as the old Isley home on the hill. We will have a hearing on February 4th, so the owner can come and tell us why he thinks that we shouldn't do something, but we need to follow the law, and this is one of a list of, including the one near you. So this is the first of many that you'll see
Right.
And the homeowner and the owners are gonna be responsible for anything that needs to be done, correct?
That's correct. If something happens, like the property that we took down, earlier this year, if they don't pay, if we have to, then it goes on their tax bill.
Yeah, and Dennis was also talking that we should get some signage up in case there should be a fire or something, the fire has to go up there, they know that things are unsafe and that.
Yeah, he has, he calls it something, it's a,
Placards or whatever.
yeah, placard, it's a red, bright red, so it's like you guys would know, if you saw that on a building, that he,
Things are unsafe there,
Yeah.
you know, you don't go running up a set of stairs and.
That's, you know, same thing that fire trucks put on them after there's a minor or major structure fire in the house. They put
Right.
that kind of stuff on.
yeah, and this one has it on there already.
Oh, it does?
Mhm. Yeah, he showed it to me.
Yeah, so per our local law, Dennis has to inform you guys of his findings, which was the letter that he included before this, and then
Mhm.
you just have to basically agree that, to his findings, that if you believe that it is or isn't, you know, it's something that we need to move forward with. If you say yes, then Dennis needs to issue another letter giving him notice to show up at the hearing.
Who's
that
at the
will be
hearing?
set.
Who's involved in the hearing?
It's a public
He
hearing.
come to here,
Oh,
it'll come to the board meeting, it's public.
Well, thanks.
Yep, so he'll get a letter notifying him that he can come, and
Defend himself.
so we'll follow due process and
Interesting.
move through it. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
No opposed, it's carried, thank you. Next is the cloud permit, which is the software we've been talking about for a while to purchase for codes, and as Peter knows, it's a priority, so I'll take a motion.
I make a motion to approve the purchase of code enforcement software by Cloud Permit in the amount of $3,500 per year with a one-time startup fee of $1,000.
A second.
All right, so, discussion, so Peter right now has been going through all of the code files. It's enormous.
Ooh.
There's been really no setup for each individual permit. I mean, it's paper, it's a lot of paper, we've gotta get a system. We're probably gonna have to have somebody come in and do data entry. He's setting up the file system, but Dennis needs it because somebody comes in, or we get a FOIL, it says, I need to know, you know, how many building permits were some address. We can't pull it. You know, we have to go individually through the files, and it's,
It's a mess.
I saw, he showed it to me one day, so I know, yeah, it's like everything's by year.
Yeah, plus it allows him to actually go out, look at a site, and do the permit process through there, and also a lot of people, they can actually
Keeps
take
track of it.
pictures and send them to him, it all loads in there, but it gives him an opportunity to be able to actually, go through the monitoring process without having to constantly go back and forth.
And it's a
on the
time
same
saver,
site.
yeah, it's a time saver.
Yeah. Not to mention, but it keeps all the
Got it.
documentation.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
did
worth
they
this
come
stuff.
out and set that up for us?
I know that there's it's all web-based, so it'll be just like anything else, it'll be a training,
Okay.
a webinar they do, and they go through, and then there's a support system like anything else.
Yeah, and we have budget for this, so,
It is overdue.
Yeah, yeah, definitely needed.
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No opposed, it's carried, thank you. Next is, application for use of the community center.
All right, I make a motion to approve the application for the use of the community center by the Ithaca League of Women Rollers roller derby practice on Thursday from 6/16/25 through 3/27/25.
Is there a time on that? I'll second it. Sorry.
All right, discussion.
Is there a time?
I think
No,
it's,
there's no time on
yeah, so, couple of things I asked Stacy. One, what kind of skates are you using, because we've invested so much in the floor in there. And I can't remember what I tell you, Fred, what it was, they call them, they're basic, they're not, racing skates, they look like roller skates.
Quad skates, or?
Yeah, but the shoe part is just low profile. I wanna watch it.
Yeah, I'd like to,
So they would come in,
Existed.
they would come in, they would tape it with, usable tape, so it's gonna come up every time. Tape out their oval, do their practice, pick up the tape and go. And so I don't know about the time, cause it doesn't say it on there. I left that up to
It doesn't matter, I was just kinda
Stacy.
curious.
Well, like we were saying earlier, is it gonna bother the tape from the pickleball?
There's
That's
probably-
paint.
Okay.
I think that, yeah, but I think what they're gonna put down is nothing like the painters,
Yeah, it's painter's tape.
yeah.
It'll
Easy
pull
to
it back
pick
up.
up and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the community center, the good thing is we're getting a lot of use. It's, the pickleball is just skyrocketed. How many? We've got,
New Year's Day.
this past weekend, there was so many people waiting because the courts were all full.
Really?
Yeah,
Well, I know that one day I went down to open up for it, and it was, and I was there like 5 of, and there was already people waiting.
oh yeah, they're always waiting at the door, yeah. All right, further discussion on roller derby practice.
Is it a closed practice? Can people go watch?
Yeah, you can always go in that building, sure.
Do you need to maybe confirm the time? I mean, I'm sure Stacy's got it worked out where it doesn't conflict with.
Yeah, I
Well, maybe that's why there isn't a set time, because there might be, maybe they have to move their time around or
Oh,
whatever.
I see the pictures where they marked down the,
yeah, I left that up to Stacy because she monitors it.
Well, that was the thing I was gonna ask about. So they only get charged $50 for an hour and a half?
Mhm,
And then, so that's all they expect to be there for, is an hour and a half?
mhm.
By the time they tape the floor,
Yeah, I was
they
gonna
pick it
say,
all up,
by the time they tape the
they
floor.
make two
pull it
laps,
all
all right,
up.
practice is done.
Just put the tape on the rollers, roll it around.
Other questions? All in favor?
I,
No opposed, it's carried. All right, next is a member application for the fire hall for cornhole.
I would make a motion to approve a member application for the use of the village fire hall by Philip Cummings of the Schuyler County Cornhole League for January through April.
I'll second it.
Discussion.
No.
No, I thought they didn't want it there, first of all.
We
The
don't.
fire department doesn't even want it there.
Well, my only question is, why did the chief sign it?
That's a good question. I asked the same question.
I mean,
Well, I think he did it so he'd come to here and we tell him that they didn't want it.
yeah, but he's like the
And then
first one.
he's out of the.
Well, but
out the-
it does say, it does leave a space there for the fire chief to sign.
Yeah,
but
That's
they
for
didn't.
afterwards?
Everyone.
That's for afterwards?
No, he's supposed to sign it, but if they don't agree with it, it shouldn't be signed.
Right.
They already told him they weren't gonna allow him to do it.
Yeah, so I think we can vote
So
on
you-
this one easily.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
we
he
can-
says that the acknowledgement from the fire department chief that the fire hall is available, so it's not available because he chooses, he decides that it's not something that they would use it for, he shouldn't sign it, and then it doesn't come to the board at all, it just automatically is rejected.
Dead in the water.
Isn't someone using the community center for cornhole league?
No, he brought
They
it up.
tried to.
No, they previously came in, and it was Brent that came in a long time ago,
That's
he
right,
brought it up,
yeah,
and the
yeah.
board actually recommended that they go to or he might even have been asking for the community center at the time, but.
I think he
He
was
was.
asking for the.
Yeah, he was.
He was, it was about the
So
alcohol.
could we tell this person to ask for
Right.
the,
There was about the alcohol that came up.
Yeah, I think we can say, you know, we'll vote on it, but we can offer that they can,
go to the community center?
right, resubmit it back through Stacy and for the
Yeah.
community center and, you know, figure out a time that's viable.
Yeah, I mean, there's other
Yeah.
places too.
Yeah.
Or the,
Can't, you got
Place
I think the
on the
community
lake.
center is much more
they
appropriate.
could go in there.
Yeah,
event
Who's
center.
right?
it's a lot
Yeah.
more expensive.
What do you
But
think?
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
they could-
Well, what about St. Mary's Center? Doesn't anybody ever use that anymore? I mean, there's
That's all,
different
all
places.
set up for Catholic charities.
And the,
They
it's
never
got
take it down?
pantry and stuff
No,
like
they got tables all over in there.
Cornhole is just as popular as pickleball, and it's actually a great thing that would probably, if,
Yeah, then they could get it
even if
going.
we drove it, you know, but yes, the community center's
that.
the
I
place
think
to
the
do
community
it.
center is more appropriate.
The community center.
All right.
That's what's the one.
All in favor? Opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
Excuse me.
Alright, did not carry. Offer community center.
Yeah.
Okay.
What the heck? What's going on?
Now we gotta
Oh, I see what's going on.
approve, Officer Augusto for the DARE training.
I make a motion to approve Anthony Augusto to attend the DARE officer training on February 17th through the 28th at $1,500. All costs paid for by the Watkins Glen School District.
A second it.
I didn't realize they paid for that.
Further discussion? Yeah, it's really important. Where is the training, Ethan?
Luckily, it's just in Montrose. I had a
Fire
sheet attached,
academy.
I'm not sure if you guys got it. It was me.
Yeah,
I submitted it late, but it's just in Montrose Falls.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
fire academy.
Yeah.
Yep. So if there's lucky enough, there's one here very close that's very affordable for school
Yeah.
districts. if you will.
And it's nice of the school to pay for it. I mean, you know.
I think.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No opposed, it's also carried. All right, now we've got a water treatment operator trainee position we'd like to post.
Make a motion to approve to post the position of water treatment plant operator trainee.
Second.
Discussion.
no,
So,
it's just Stan has mentioned several times that he's looking to retire within a year, and that means it's time to get somebody in and get them starting to train and make use of Stan's knowledge while we have him, so that, you know, he can help train that person.
Yeah.
I do believe, yes.
we have that position available?
Yep, actually it was, yes, we had another person, it's been a while, but it's been open since, or available since the last time, since Zach left.
Okay.
Really, it seems to be on distribution. It's the only place that I can.
Well, Steven said he has a couple of people he might know. What's the pay rate on that, do you know?
Off the top of my head, I don't know, I have to look and see. It's
Other questions?
So what is that? Mostly a
20-some.
treatment plant operator training. So,
So they get trained and then once,
yeah, but is he like basically a laborer?
Yeah, so
Until they get their license.
they have that year to go through and train, and then they gotta get their 2A license.
Oh, I see.
I think they have to have all three licenses. And EMC, otherwise they can't touch chemical plan or.
yeah, have you had Megan look at that posting?
Job description? Yeah. I can.
We better make sure it's right, because,
Yeah, I think they have for all positions, even Stan, if you look at his, he was required to get two ways and how he's supposed to do that.
Maybe get grandfathered in or something.
yeah, let's look at that before we post it.
That may have a lot to do with Stan's title, so that's another issue that.
Yeah,
That
Dennis.
is, and that's really important to understand, and I know you know this, but Stan is
he's in the wrong title.
the mechanic, but we're a water treatment plant operator, then that's a very widespread position for the plant, so.
We don't need a mechanic position,
Yeah.
period, in there, we just need someone who has a little bit of knowledge to do that stuff, but really, we need the operator and distribution.
We'll go over it before, we'll double check. It's a civil service written job description anyway, so there's not a lot of room for tweaking it, but we can
Right.
definitely look at it before we put it out.
They definitely they have to have all their licenses, otherwise there's gonna be certain areas they aren't eligible to take custom licenses.
Yeah, we want to be clear on the expectation after that year that
Yeah.
they've got to have those licenses, whatever they are.
It's a two-way and
Okay. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No opposed, it's also carried, thank you. All right, now we have a number of things to surplus here. Except for the speakers, we're not.
Yeah, I make a motion to surplus the following items. Walk behind 4 polisher from the Parks Department. The Taylor Dunn electric golf cart from the Street Department. A2 ton 480 volt crane hoist from the sewer plant with hardware, and 2 commercial sized exhaust blowers from the sewer plant with all the hardware.
I'll second the motion.
Discussion.
One coat rack.
That's not going, that's going to Paradise Alley very soon.
Are you sure you don't want the golf cart?
I saw the golf cart right
Got an
away.
eye on the coat rack.
It doesn't run.
Yeah.
I could imagine, that would be one more thing you could put in the backyard.
Oh, I just love it.
All right, all in favor?
I,
No opposed, carried. Thank you. All right, we have got our audit of January 6th.
I'll make a motion for the general audit dated January sixth, 2025, for the total amount of $155,990.97.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. All right, couple things for board concerns. Alex Gill, I think I've told most of you, most probably now, but stepped down from the planning board. I've been talking to a few people about that position. It was really a huge loss for us. He was wonderful and
I thought it was pretty good too.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
He's a
Really
brilliant,
sharp.
brilliant person.
yeah, so we'll fill that spot. It's important. And then, as we noted earlier, that playground install, it'll be, it's really gonna be dependent on the weather. One of the guys was pushing from Compan today about, putting it together in January and,
I think it's crazy.
yeah, well, I just worried
Well, if it
about a
breaks,
lot of different
If the
things.
weather breaks, I mean, it'd be one thing.
The last thing you want too, though, is like, unless it kept be fenced off, you don't want kids and stuff out there playing on an iced over brand new playground that you can't even.
Well, it's gonna heave and
And I'll tell you
That's
what,
exactly
if there's a will, there's a way. There will be. There will be people down there.
Oh, yeah.
It would just be nice to have it up and then you have a grand opening in a sense,
Yep.
and, it just, it's warm.
When they did the skate park, and they had it all, they had the orange fencing around it, my son and one of his friends decided the day before school started to hop that fence and go on the skate park thing. And I got a call, because it was my first day of school.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Your mother's on the way, she's in the ambulance with your son, he's on the way to Arna, he broke his arm, broke his wrist, broke it bad.
That'll teach them.
Yeah. I was like, what the heck were you doing jumping that fat, but,
Yep.
she was 11, 12 years old, they were dying to get on that skate park, and so they have the fence.
The only other thing I had, I have this handwritten list, there's 16 total. I talked to Bob about this. So years ago, the village had a program where you could get a plaque, which was made out of concrete, with your family's name on it, and they were placed by the light poles in Lafayette Park. We're going back, I forget what year it was.
1979.
Is that what it was, around 1980 or so? So we have all those, they pulled them out of the ground, because remember, we replaced all that. So if anybody wants to look at it, or knows family members, some of these people are deceased a long time. We can give them back to the family. I don't know what to do with them. 'Cause
They were
you
grand
can't-
a piece. They
What's that?
were $1,000 a piece.
Were
Can't
they?
you put them somewhere else?
If you look at them, I don't know how we would.
Or if you gotta chip all the concrete off.
It's all, yeah, it's like a big blob of concrete with the thing in it with the
Yeah, it's a
name on it.
granite stone with whatever's on it.
Right.
And then the concrete, they just dump a chunk of concrete up.
Yeah.
Oh, so
So it's all around
the
the
stone
stone.
is in the concrete?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, I don't know how you would. But that's all the family names. It's,
Can you at least contact those people?
well, that's why I'm bringing it up, one, for the public to know,
least.
but also, I mean, there's some people on there that I know are deceased and I don't know any family. Some people I don't even know.
I have some, I didn't know.
Yeah, one, I mean, Bob,
Maybe if you did some kind of public thing, some people might know relatives and might be able to, at least put it out there for the public to,
Yeah.
or maybe put it on the website,
yeah, we could. Yeah,
so
we
at
can
least
take
people have an
pictures of 'em.
opportunity. People have an opportunity to,
They're on,
What?
they're on a pallet. I mean, it's not a small pile.
Is that the stuff down there by the?
Side
Stand
of
by the
building.
backside of it.
well, chances are, once they saw
Yeah,
the
where you-
size of
where
it,
they
they would
throw all
probably say,
The
Leaves and stuff.
Yeah, right on the
I saw all
left-hand
that
side when
stuff
you
there.
drive down through there.
chances are probably when they saw the size of it, they would say, forget it. But at least it would be the courtesy of,
Yeah,
you have to extend the courtesy of at least trying
absolutely,
to
yeah.
contact, you know.
Yeah, so Bob brought it to my attention, so we went looking, and sure enough, there was a pile. You know, the street guys had put them away.
Where's it located at?
What?
Where's the file located at?
Down back by the, you know, where
Yeah,
the
you
buildings
can
and
see.
ground shed
Oh,
is,
okay.
back there.
Where you throw the leaves and,
Yeah, the compost pile.
yeah, that's a compost pile.
Other board concerns?
I just got one thing, how are we making out with the inventory?
It's coming.
Is it
I am working on it, I got it.
Is
I
there something I
just-
can do to help you?
Yeah, I mean, we could sit, you might be able to help me out, it's just putting it all together now, going through the actual Excel list with the managers. I finally just got the STR thing squared away, which is, by the way, remember it was like 22 people? It's down to like 5 now.
Yeah.
Oh, that was,
STR is a short-term rental.
But yeah, if you want, we can get together and
I'll be
get
in
it.
tomorrow.
It's a matter of, the managers turn their stuff in, so now we gotta look at the,
Well, I got
not,
2 years of work to do with that guy.
not
He he got overtime yesterday. He and I left together
It was
last night.
dark. I gotta tell you
There's a
what,
lot
Look,
going
it's dark
on.
in your pants.
I wanna tell you what, I'm bringing my electric brake at the,
It's cold in here.
holy.
That's why I'm across the hall.
Yeah, it's just,
Oh.
I have the information collected, now we just have to go through it. That means comparing what the manager said to what I have in the file. So, and then just like anything else, then updating the information.
We're almost there.
Man, I
Then,
just checking.
There's so much going on that there's always, just
Did you get,
priorities.
did we get the final from the auditors for our rural development report?
They just talked about it today. Mary just reached out to, Kirsten, and she's working on it. She actually just emailed me today. She needs some information that I can't give her. Noe's gonna have to. So Noe gets in here tomorrow, she can send it back. But they said that they will have it done by Friday.
Okay, because I think I got a reminder again today on it.
We told them that we told Mary that BST would have it done by Friday.
Okay.
And they said they would. She said she's on track for that, so.
You know Mary's
and
retired.
Mary says that that's acceptable, if we can do that, so.
You know Mary's partially retired.
Yeah, I know, she told me,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't blame her, we had a long talk about emails and the amount of emails.
But we need her.
Yeah, I know, she's amazing. She's got Caitlin doing really well though, so I think it'll be all right.
All right. Other, are you good? You only had one thing on yours, Marg, you good?
Yeah.
No, we answered the other one earlier.
Okay, so we have a personnel issue for executive, under separation agreement. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion that we go into executive session.
Second.
Further discussion? All approved?
Aye.
No, opposed, carried, thank you. Heck, be careful going home.
Dennis, I'll follow up with you like tomorrow or something on the 2 items that were yours.
Okay.
Have a good evening.
Both were approved,
Five.
so
Oh, what time does the board meeting start?
5. Mm-hmm. Be late.
Sorry.
That's okay, we used to.
We used to start
We
at
used to.
6, but.
I knew that when you walked in, I said,
Sorry.
No,
It's
you're
okay.
okay.